So welcome, our brilliant and beloved brother, Ebenezer. We so appreciate your consistent leadership and solidarity. And as always at SETC, we begin all things by giving thanks to our creator, by giving thanks to the original stewards, the various lands we're on. We give thanks to all our ancestors, all those who toil, without compassion or compensation. We give thanks to all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So Ebenezer, can you please share a bit about your remarkable work with our listeners and viewers?
Thank you very much, Brother Victor. I've spent the past few years working in the space of basically two sides of the coin. I've worked on the innovation, incubation, and acceleration side. That's what really drove me to the space where back in Ghana, we have noticed that there was a bit of a challenge where many small businesses, startups, and at that time, particularly social enterprises, were struggling to attract capital for their businesses to grow. And then I, with my partner Nelson, thought that, look, we could do something about it. And the way we thought we were going to solve that was to set up a business accelerator. This was kind of informed by our first-hand experience. We had started investing in some startups, and we realized that you just can't give startups and SMEs money without support and expect them to do well. So we had learned the hard way, and sometime back in about 2015, we decided it was time to set up a vehicle that could provide the right support and then enable them to raise money. And our expectation or thesis then was, you do this and you bridge the gap between them and then impact capital. We were quite wrong because we started and lots of the companies that we were supporting just could not raise money, because we then learned later that even though they wanted to raise money, a lot of the funds could not do smaller investment sizes. It just wasn't economically viable for them. And the transaction cost of these transactions of 100,000, 200 for the impact, even the impact investing space then and then the VC, just did not make economic sense for them. So then again, my career has been about building bridges, right? So if I want to get to the other side of the river and there is no way, I am willing to build that bridge to make sure that we can get there and others can follow. So based on that, I then decided to take the dive and go into building a fund that would do that missing middle. And so that led me to my work in Wangara Green Ventures. And that's what I've worked on over the past few years. I've also been supporting BKR since its inception with the first fund that they've rolled out. And I've been on the advisory board, I've been on the selection committee, and over the past few months, I'm taking up more responsibility in terms of particularly anchoring the ecosystem building element. So it's still, again, about building bridges. So based on what we've done in other markets, what we've seen here in Canada, and what the challenges for the community is, to be able to build these bridges. And this includes programs both on the talent side and then on the investment vehicle side. So happy to delve into more of these as we proceed with this conversation. Thank you.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for all that background and context. The work that you were doing at Wangara Ventures was truly phenomenal. And I'm so inspired and happy that you're with BKR Capital. As you know, Lise is a friend of this community of practice and a close colleague, and so is our beloved brother Isaac. So once again, I've just always been inspired by the work of BKR Capital. So to know that you're on their team, it just really warms my heart and speaks to the innovation impact that's coming out of that office. So as always, our next question is, what's inspiring you right now? What has you curious, or what's keeping you up at night?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's keeping me at night is really, how do we make sure that there is enough capital coming into the community. I think that we have a lot of good ideas, and we have a lot of people who are entrepreneurial, taking the requisite risk, but then most of the ideas never really get to go to the next stage, whether these are founders or these are people who've proven themselves to build and then they want to go back into investing in other people in the community. I think that capital is just not flowing as it should. And for me, is that question of how do we really unlock it? What is it that we can do to give more comfort to the capital to know that, look, it's not something that you are doing just for the optics, but it's beyond the impact. There's also good business because, look, the community we have is very significant and is going to grow in significance. So any capital source that ignores it is going to find itself lagging behind. But for now, the real challenge is how do you open their eyes to that? And to do that, what kind of vehicles do we put together? What kind of programs do we put together to de-risk this and make them kind of comfortable to go with us for now?
Incredible, incredible. So my next question, what challenges and barriers do you and your colleagues face, and what are some of the approaches you're taking to overcome some of these challenges and barriers?
Yes, so I think some of the challenges has been the perennial thing about track record. You know, people always raise the issue of track record. Have you done it before? And it then becomes a chicken and egg situation because then if you then give the person the chance, how do you really get to know that people in this community can do it? And I think one of the great things that BKR has demonstrated is that we can do it when the opportunity is given. And so that track record challenge is something that we are seeking to address. If you look at the current situation we have, you are talking about a number of aspiring fund managers, emerging fund managers from within the community that are pretty much stuck in terms of these vehicles and funds that they are bringing to the market, whether to directly invest in the community or even to have a general investment thesis. There just seems to be so many within the community that are not making traction. And we think that one way to address this is to fix that issue of track record. And so the solution we are putting out there is the track record facility, which I'm leading on. And the idea here is to be able to support emerging fund managers within the community, get their first check from LPs, and be able to demonstrate that they have the investments in terms of pipeline and they can execute these investments. So track record has been a big challenge, and it's something that we want to tackle.
Indeed, indeed. So my next question, do you have a set of key priorities right now in your work that you'd like to amplify to our listeners and viewers?
Yes, as earlier mentioned, the number one priority is addressing this track record gap. And what we mean by this is, how do we ensure that people who want to raise funds, for example, we provide them that first capital, but also we provide them the support in building their structures and provide them that guidance to be able to engage LPs effectively. And this is something we really want to amplify in the sense that we think that if we can come together and make it possible and allow a lot more emerging fund managers within the community to be able to launch their vehicles and demonstrate their track record, it will have a catalytic effect, right? Because then we will have the ability to show not just the fund managers, but to show the entrepreneurs that are being supported And once that is done, it then opens up the doors for more institutional and commercial capital to come in. So that's obviously something we want to highlight. If you also look at the other elements, I think you may be aware of BKR's fellowship program that's been running. And we started with that because one of the conversation points has been, do we have enough talent within the community to do this? And so this was aimed at addressing that as well. And so we would be having the third cohort in the next few months. And so these are two things in terms of what we call our ecosystem building activities that I'm particularly leading on and very keen to have people join us and grow that.
Beautiful. So my second last question, what is your ultimate goal? And what does success look like and feel like to you and your colleagues?
The ultimate goal is to ensure that there is enough funding within the community for viable ideas, to make sure that any entrepreneur that deserves to be funded really gets funded. And the way to get there is to make sure that in the next 4 or 5 years, we don't have just a BKR. We have many BKRs. We have many funds within the community that are thriving, that are doing well, and that are respected because we've been able to support and pretty much stretch our hands to say, look, we've navigated some of these waters, and we don't want to be here alone. We want to bring along our brothers. So for us, that would be success. Success would be looking back and saying, look, there are 5, 10 funds within the community that are well capitalized and well positioned to be able to support entrepreneurs.
That's incredible. And there's so many emerging fund managers right now in racialized and Black communities that I think that's a reasonable goal, to see other funds and fund managers from our community step up to drive innovation impacts. So once again, I applaud your visionary leadership. My last question, do you have any closing thoughts or calls to action for our listeners and our viewers?
Yes, I want to thank you for this platform where you are really highlighting the work that we are doing. It opens us our minds to what the possibilities are and where we can collaborate and how we can support. And this is very great work. And so thank you so much. For us, in terms of areas where I think I would just want to leave with, it's, look, there's work to be done. And what we want to see is more success. And it's important that we collaborate and we share our insights, our success stories, our knowledge, our network to bring everyone together. So I think that it's only by that way that we can win as a community. It's important that we see that, look, we may be doing things differently. We may be coming from different perspectives in terms of how to approach it. And sometimes we may seem to be competing because we are going to the market with similar offerings, but the ultimate thing should be, how do we collaborate to win? How do we collaborate to win as a community?
Ashe, 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 Merasi Papa. Thank you so much, my brilliant brother, for all the actual insights and jewels and wisdom that you provided us today, and consistently in terms of every interaction. As always at SETC, we just want to give thanks to you for all that you do on behalf of so many, and for your team and the remarkable leadership. And we'll close where we began this interview, this conversation, by giving thanks to our creator, by giving thanks to original stewards of the various lands around. We give thanks to all our ancestors, all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We give thanks to all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you very much, my brother. And all the best. Cheers.